Testing,
Hey,
testing. What
how's
is
it going,
going
man?
on? We are live. We're live with Thrivecoin. I'm sure we'll get those guys.
Yeah, Senat's just wrapping up a phone call. He'll be here shortly.
Okay, for a bit. We are live on YouTube for the recording. If you guys are not here with us, here in a little bit. Test. What do you need? Testing. This is Hefe speaking. Just making sure the YouTube feed's working. Test. How's my audio sounding? Is it sounding quiet? Do I need to turn it up?
Sounds great, man.
Okay, awesome, man. It's one of my favorite mics. So,
What are you using?
this is a Logitech, Logitech Blue. So it's made by Blue. I don't know if you're familiar with the brand, the Blue.
Mhm.
Blue Yeti is a pretty famous. Little bit quiet. Okay. I can do a couple things. I could turn it up here.
Just double check his, because mine is loud.
I just don't want to be clipping. That's the other thing, because I can, you know.
Oh, you sound okay to me. I have you at 100.
No tweaking needed. Okay, cool. I have it at 9. Way, but you guys dig the new lighting in the back? I can
I
change
don't
it too.
see. I'm not on YouTube. Hang on, I
Oh,
gotta jump over there and look.
gotcha. Yeah, we gotta link up sometime. I got my lights set up, but they're not optimized for anything. So
Something, but I don't want to. Well, they're not here yet, so I guess I could, right?
yep. Oh yeah.
There we go. Check this. Does this work? Yes. Take a look at this.
Oh, dude.
Right? I can't wait. I can't wait.
God damn, that's the alpha right there.
There's Senate.
Welcome,
Yes.
welcome.
Well, actually, this is actually a stand that's gonna come because in one. I'm gonna. So I don't know if it's gonna show, but
Yeah, the lighting. Yeah, I can see it. It spins. Oh my god, that's amazing.
Where did
and
you
it
get this
shifts.
from?
I made the stand
Some-
is off of Amazon.
Some next level shit right there. Holy. He's a
I'm
madman.
out of words, man. I'm out of words.
Hang on. Let me show you my display case because I like to mess show it
Yeah.
off.
Little pre-show. Oh. God.
So like I've got the Alchemica cubes. These are the ones that I made by manufactured with the factory, and then we've got like the Dow pin, Ghost.
I've got one too. Super dope.
Wow.
Anyway, I don't want to hijack our conversation, but
That's awesome.
That's beautiful. Man,
All right.
we were kind of connected with your sound with the cam. I think it's quite unusual for Discord. Experiment with that. So let me know what you think of it. If you don't really want, I'm happy for any version of feedback.
Absolutely.
And
For
yeah,
the
no,
just real quick for the live stream, folks, any stream, if we could just get a check on Senat's voice, make sure that I don't need to turn him up or anything. If your voice is quiet, I can do that on my end. So
sure. Let me. So my audio is coming through.
I just want to make sure they can hear you on the live stream as well. So it sounds like you're coming through good. So you're good where you're at.
Amazing. Cool. Yeah, no, thank you. I don't think I need to introduce myself to the audience in case someone watching on the live stream hasn't seen me before and just heard Daniel talking. I'm Senate. I'm also part of sort of leading partnerships and working together closely with communities. I'm a Bankless member. Has been sort of spearheading the with Thrivecoin the pilot back in October, right before we got the super large grant from and yeah, I'm now working with you on sort of co-creating and making magic happen. About to go live is about
Nice.
to go live.
Nice.
Being excited. No, I'm not saying this. I'm getting freaking excited because this is I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's like practicing delayed gratification.
Yeah.
I'm getting so excited to get this thing out as soon as possible, but I'm like, no, we have to take time. The community has to socialize, and then it's fishing day, and I'm like, let's get it. So the community can weigh in and finally vote. We got a proposal that sort of reflects really the entirety of what is desired. We made some, like, let's say, important adjustments compared to the Thank Aavegotchi proposal on forum. Cool, Daniel is way to the airport, might be even there. He's requesting to come up on stage. Let's see. The train is the first one, obviously, as requested by the community, down the program from 6 to 3 months, and sort of cut also the ads by half. And now with the new proposed version, we will sort of have a season with 3 different sort of segments, I'm calling. I hope it makes sense. So in the first month, we will do raffles with Thrive. It's super cool and interesting. We've been doing this banking community as well. It's been really, really embraced. There will be tons of fun. In the second month, we will be director rewarding with Ghosts. It's going to be super, super exciting. And in the third month, this will be something familiar to you, which is the rarity farming. Not the rarity farming itself, but we will do some rarity farming style enrollment. We will have top 5, top 10, and top 15 tires of contributors, and then sort of take from there. So again, this cover is familiar with what you already do. And the way we want to structure it is then after the 3 months, for the second 3 months, which we want to propose. We will see what worked the best and propose to sort of reinforce that. And after 6 months, it's self-sustainability time because we don't want to live off grant. This is not our goal. We want to create a model, an incentive model, and sort of, basically an incentive model that sort of reinforces. If we perform as a community, we will self-sustain eventually, which is super dope. And yeah, enough talk. Any questions? Anyone hyped to see this thing live? I think Rex, you were supposed to submit it right now. Are you close to it?
Oh, we're doing a live submission. Okay, awesome.
I think we're doing a live
Cool.
submission.
Yeah, it sounds like he's
doing
going
it
through the
now.
motions right now. Here we go.
There we go. By the way, anyone, T-Bird, I know you will be at Consensus, right? If I remember correctly. Or I think you live in Austin, something like this. Can you just quick see you're typing? Yo, will you now we still try to sync. I think just Daniel and I got a pretty tight schedule at the conference itself. But let's see. Let's keep in touch. I will shoot you a DM. There we go. So I just T-Bird, and I'm just going to say hi, and I'm going to give you my Telegram. Please text me. I can even create a group chat then with Daniel. We can sort of coordinate from there. We also have the Thrivecoin thread within the forum. Actually, we can use this for Thrivecoin related stuff. Michaelium, I appreciate the patience and thoughtfulness being displayed through this proposal crafting. We appreciate you, my friend. Thanks for all your feedback. It took a while. We revisited a bunch of times and really tried to nail it down to the feedback that we got. And I think we are extremely happy as well that we were able to co-create something that is really just feels good for the entire community. And I think there is no better feeling than knowing that something is about to go out on forum, which it is very shortly, and knowing that there shouldn't be a lot of issues because really we tried to address everything. I think we did address everything. So this is kind of like a celebration party, I think.
I
You have some
appreciate,
music
yeah, I
in
mean, I
here.
appreciate you guys taking the time, to be patient with the process and collect as much feedback as possible, because oftentimes what we see is proposals get pushed through too quickly, or they, without very much discussion, make it to SIGPROP, and then, there's an automatic knee-jerk reaction to the proposal, like, we don't want this, because we didn't really discuss it. And it's people don't feel heard, and then so they obviously vote no immediately. And so I think it's important to, especially with DAOs and proposals, to give it enough time to awareness seep out into the community, get the feedback. It takes time for this to happen, and then finally put the proposal through. So we got the snapshot live officially. I'm gonna get it up here.
Go. Hey. We are live.
Head to snapshot and share your screen. That might be the easiest way to get it on screen and show people, or it's up to you. But I might be using up too much bandwidth here on the live stream if I open another window. So
I will try my best, and please let me know if my the thing that I have my webcam on is making any troubles, any issues.
You're coming through good. You're coming through good now. So
there we go. I hope you are able to see my screen. Woo!
Here we go.
Aavegotchi pilot, powered by Thrivecoin, guys, and we already got a vote in favor. And Michaelium, my friend, it means the world to us, and thank you. There we go. Coin, thank Aavegotchi. So for all of you, there is the link to the discourse. Please feel free, as you can see from the Thrivecoin support side, we have Daniel, me, Joe, who's going to become soon pretty active because he is specifically working with the communities and sort of the board with regard to contribution types and rewards and everything. And sort of we are sitting there. And the cool thing about these, not just the Bankless DAO Genesis member, which is super dope, very, very good friend, but also has previously worked with OG members here in the DAO. I think Bowdy Nerd was that knows Joe. So I think, you know, the world is sometimes like a village. Web3 is a really tiny village sometimes. And the good part is that there are some persons that will make it really fun working together. So, yeah, and as we can see the summary, we propose a certain Aavegotchi pilot to thank, which when we say thank is we mean to reward and recognize Aavegotchi members for Aavegotchi DAO contributors for valuable contributions. With Ghost and an on-chain thank you note, I think note is which is part of the Thrive protocol, is the blockchain explorer on top of this whole thing, which is super excited. So think of an Ether scan on top of Thrivecoin, and as you can see, if you will have the same thing as this year, Bankless DAO, there will be ways to contribute, private Bankless DAO, the top contributors. As you can see, Mr. V, I've just retweeted Zurich. Is there anyone in this community that I met? I think so. It's fortunate, but we'd love to meet you guys again. It was amazing seeing you in real life. And I met Mr. V, who was a Bankless DAO young contributor, and maybe story that I can share. And you know, as we can read this moment, it was like I didn't do a lot, but actually look at me, and I was like, look at you, leaderboard, lots of engagement on discourse, Twitter, some specific things, so Discord specific things. He provided feedback on Snapshot, with actually we have community calls. And if you open up one of these things, view an on-chain thing, you know, you'll see the blockchain explorer that I mentioned. So we have then we see it will be dear Hefner, dear Threx. Thank you for contribution on the X for leading a community call. Once again, if he is in favor for that, and you will be rewarded with whatever it is that you agree upon in Ghost, and there will be Aavegotchi design will be also custom, and then you can see all of the details, which is pretty dope. And then we can also work this page into your website. So with Apecoin, I said reward apecoin.com maybe. I should have put ideas on the Apecoin side. They will have reward them, and then on their own website there is going to be a community page for Thrivecoin, and so maybe season uh, contributions again pretty reward for 6 you know we about that the case I mentioned was that there's your team. There are the pillars. There's the Thrivecoin support. Lots of familiar things, and yeah, I'm actually repeating myself all the time. But any questions so far from here?
I think it's looking pretty good. I'll echo one of Thrax's points there that it's one of the more well thought, well put together proposals that we've seen come through the DAO. And oftentimes, as we're talking about on our talk show this morning, oftentimes we see a lot of value at the top, biggest holders of the project in the most value accrual. Which is not necessarily a bad thing. We talked about it, made the point that these are the people that have invested the most into the project. And so, of course, they will reap the largest benefits. But what about the social side? What about the community side? The people that don't have the big bags, but are contributing in as big or even bigger ways than the large capital holders are contributing to the project, just in a different way. And we didn't have a mechanic to reward those people up until now. And so there's been a lot of burnout that's happened in the bear market. There's been a lot of, in me speaking firsthand, there's been a lot of frustration and kind of wanting to take a step back. And so there's been a lack of recognition. The goodwill in Aavegotchi has dried up over the market. And I'm hoping that maybe something like Thank Aavegotchi with these thank you notes and the monetary rewards that people can at the end of the season will be to get people excited about them fired back up about contributing to Aavegotchi DAO in a social way.
Thank you. And yeah, this is sort of the future we want to envision. I mean, we're not just sort of one belief in a world where really possible. As we say, it doesn't matter who you are, what your background is. Value for a community, you should reward a proportion to the value you create. This is where we want to go. This will help us come one step closer to it, right? Yeah. Who knows how long it's going to take? Months, years? I don't know, but we have to start. And we have actually already started, and we have some case studies, and we have ways to already create lots of goodness together. And the cool thing, again, about the Aavegotchi, you guys are already familiar with all of that stuff. You're already familiar with how gamifying processes are working. You're gamers, we are gamers. And so it should be very, very easy to create even more value together. And to the forum part, sort of community, working with the community part, thanks for highlighting this. It has been amazing few months. I mean, we met at Denver almost 2 months of really closely working with each other. And yeah, I think based on the experience, Daniel and sort of our whole team experience working with in real life. It's literally Daniel's vision and sort of what he tries to build for 15 years, and already built 2 organizations that sort of did that in real life, not on the blockchain. So the really cool thing about the Thrivecoin support is, and also the Thrive protocol is, all of that knowledge, all of that experience, everything is in there, and it's part of it. And it's just going to become better, because at one point open source, completely open source, so that really people can take it and build on top of that. It's just going to become better and better, which is absolutely exciting. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And Choina is also thanking you here on behalf of the directors for having clear disbursement instructions. That's always a good thing to add there.
Thank you, Choina. Thanks for the feedback. We sort of really appreciate that. I think we haven't met yet, but I've read from you, obviously, and super cool that you made it to one of our calls here. really, really, really appreciate the time you guys all take to sort of work on this as a team, as a community. Um, there we go. T-Bird, nice. There we go. Let's go. We should get more days off on Mondays. Hopefully, when we have a contribution economy, you can just work at Aavegotchi that. So, um, yeah, let's see.
That's right.
100%. Let's go.
That's the dream.
It is, man. It is super, super, super
Well, I mean, I
excited.
already say I would
Yeah,
say I'm already kind of living the dream in that sense. You know, I've been a full-time, like this is my job. I don't have another job. It's full-time Aavegotchi DAO, and I also am a content creator. So I do a lot of live streaming. I'm going to be getting more into the broader crypto space, covering other projects, but you know, definitely deeply involved in the crypto space on a full-time basis. And so I'm already living the dream, man. It's actually more challenging than if I went to work for Kroger. You know, there are significant challenges. If I was to compare this time of work to any other time in history, it would be around the great industrial revolution when people were going from the farms to the city to work in these new big factories, and there was no union representation of these workers. So oftentimes the conditions were challenging. There was issues with safety. There's all kinds of issues around that style of work, even though we were moving in the right direction. But what made this a better process was services like yourselves coming in saying, we're going to represent you guys in this way. We're going to provide a service to make sure your work are safe. We're going to be there's all these abilities that came in to make it a better experience so that we'd actually want to go to our jobs and actually enjoy what we were doing. And so, you know, Web3 work is fantastic, but I think the labor relations part of it still has ways to improve for sure.
very, very good point. That's brilliant that you mentioned because I did quite a bit of research on sort of decentralized communities, or let's say communities.
Yeah.
Strange, but what it is, before we had this sort of centralization creating of this big cities where all the people want to come to the cities. Previously, you know, there were lots of communities all across the world.
Yes.
And we had something before governments called fraternal societies, which were basically group communities that were governing their funds on behalf of the members. So let's say 100 to 200 people, and they were basically creating their own. Oh man, it's not that loud. Basically creating their own treasury, which they can decide basically how they want to use it. So they build it for insurances, and when a member got sick, they were able to, you know, take funds out of that. It's basically what we already do in Web3. And the big hope, I think, is, you know, one of the reasons why those fraternal societies didn't succeed or didn't, you know, end up sustaining was because of big governments coming in and sort of destroying them because there were potential threats to, you know, the system because they were able to sort of put pressure on, let's say, doctors to lower the prices. Otherwise, they, you know, attract their members, etc. So there were lots of mechanics that weren't interesting for centralized entities. But this time, the big difference, I think, is our overall ethos is decentralization, right? So if we don't follow this ethos in some way, shape, or form, if we basically I think we're not as dumb. We're not that dumb to recreate the world we already have, right?
We might
Sort of
start doing it and then say, "Hey, what the heck are we doing?" and then change our ways. I think there's this inherent need to fall back on the old ways, and I see it happen all the time with DAOs. But there's also that pushback of, "Hey, what the heck are we doing here? Isn't this the same thing that George Soros created? Isn't this the same thing that was created by all these, you know, big organizations that developed over the years?" We're falling back into the same
right.
centralized systems again. Like, let's not do that. We all know how that turned out, right? We're living it right now, so we can't go back
100%.
to those old ways.
100%. Couldn't agree more. Thank you. Letson,
But
do
I
you have
get
a
passionate
question? I
about this
see.
stuff, man. I get fired up because it's like this is why we're
Man,
here. If we're not here for that reason, why are we
hey,
here?
this is what got me to Dallas. I'm a sociologist, and I really love the human aspect of everything. And this is also probably why it took me quite a while to get into crypto. I mean, I'm 24, so when should I have gotten in? It's not that I'm a IT person, but
Yeah.
it's really, after the last or during the last bull market, it was just like, attracting me a lot. And I looked into DAOs and I was like, MakerDAO. There's Aragon. It's not a DAO yet, but AI didn't get Bankless DAO. Let me join Bankless DAO. Let me see how it works. And that's what basically got me fascinated. And one of the big reasons why I'm in this industry is because of DAO. And so I think it's, really envisioning how this could look like and building the protocols and tools that can help us realize it. It's just absolutely mind-boggling. It's my fuel, honestly. It helps me through the ups and downs.
And what the beauty of GameFi is we're kind of going off the rails a little bit, but I'll just say the beauty of GameFi and what we're doing here is we are building the real world systems that have basically failed, but we are recreating them now in the virtual world in a way that they can actually function and remodeling society in the metaverse. And if these societies can be remodeled in the metaverse in an effective way, this can easily transcend to real IRL stuff. This can easily transcend to unions becoming DAOs, the teachers district becoming a DAOs, everything in society that's now governed by central entities becoming a DAO. But someone has to create that model, and someone has to create that petri dish of society to actually work out and say, this is how you do that. We don't have those answers yet.
100%.
And so that's why
100%.
we're
And
here,
this is what we call, I think, on the Thrive protocol DeFi partnerships. So it's obvious that at some point, all of the people that are using the Thrive protocol will closely work together. And I don't know if you have seen this, but I dropped the link, which got me insanely bullish as well after seeing is this how Aavegotchi and the Aavegotchi DAO already start using the Thrive protocol and sort of envisioning how can we improve the governance process. And again, not talking about rewarding GMs, I think that's going to be the last link that I will share, but creating a program, I think it's 7 days for, they recommended a few topics which are sort of interesting, but they're basically allowing you to do, whatever you want and rewarding the best ones. And the community is going to decide what the best ones are. So it's very, very exciting, and the community is already starting to ideate, maybe, and this is what I say, I'm insanely bullish. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and it's a great start, and there will be lots of value. But the good thing is, in 1 year, we will look back and we will say, man, like, thank God we're doing it way better now, which is the cool part, right? Making progress along the way. So, yeah, lots of goodness.
And of course, there's always people in DAOs that are quick to criticize things. But and I echo McCallum's points here. He makes all the time. It's like, what do you got then? What if my idea sucks? What is your idea? Let's hear it.
Absolutely.
And oftentimes, what you hear is silence. There's nothing. There's nothing there. And so the people doing the work and putting the ideas out there, they're the ones actually getting shit done, and they need to get recognized for that. I think there's a lot of people doing work in the shadows in Aavegotchi DAO that just haven't been recognized for the work that they're doing. And I think there's
100%.
a way to accomplish that here. So
100%. Well said, Evan. Well said. Yeah, I just stopped sharing my screen. You got the proposal in there. You saw it. I showed you the sort of Thrivecoin webpage. Happy to figure out how we can integrate also with the Aavegotchi sort of website, so we can really make it even easier for people to find it. Showed you the Twitter post. What could I show you as well? I think that's it. I think in the end, don't forget really, and most of the people will be familiar. This is a proposal crafted over several weeks, over 2 months. We really, your voice should be heard in there, and yeah, it has been a long waiting. I'm actually, I'm speechless. I'm really glad. I'm really happy to push this out, and that the community can finally decide. And now I will be waiting patiently and Now I'll be waiting patiently and see what the reaction will be. But if we pass with overwhelming support, I'll maybe start crying. But let's maybe I
Well,
get that enthusiastic.
we know we'll advocate for this. I think anybody who is a small-time community contributor or a big-time community contributor who has been committing their social capital to Aavegotchi protocol, this benefits you. Like, I think we should all make an effort, like even whoever's on the advisory board, to make sure that we're making an effort towards these social contributors. I think anybody who is in that bucket, and there's a lot of us, should be voting for this. This is definitely going to be one of those proposals where the loudest support comes from below. I think so. That's just my take on it. But that being said, I think a lot of large holders in our ecosystem, like Dr. Wagme, for example, also understand this, and I feel fortunate that we have larger holders in our ecosystem that also understand this. That yeah, I can create really cool things on our protocol to attract more large capital, more large bags. But he also recognizes, as a large holder, that if we don't have those community members creating social capital and user generated content within the DAO, then we're not going to get the smaller communities. We're not going to get other gaming communities and individual players coming in participating. That's what's going to get people coming through the door. So
100%. Yep. That's definitely the case, and just getting started, baby. Let's
absolutely.
go.
Well, with that being said, do we have any closing remarks? Are there any questions in the chat regarding the proposal?
I see. What do we have here? Yeah, if there are any questions, please. We have our own thread. Maybe at some point we'll have our own channel. Let's see if we thank Aavegotchi. But you can definitely ask your questions in there. Thanks, Michaelium, for sharing the proposal there. Please make sure to share the proposal with your friends and fellow contributors within Aavegotchi DAO. I'll make sure to do my part as well. Often people have to know, but there will be a community call anyways next Sunday, so we will probably touch base on that as well. Once again,
yes.
And yeah, other than that, my DMs are open. As you can see, I'm also not shy, so if you want to hop on calls, always also happy to turn on the cam. Yeah, let's go, baby.
Yeah, we gotta get you on a podcast. We gotta get you on a podcast sometime.
I'd love to.
Yeah,
I'd love
sure.
to.
All right. Well, if nobody has any additional questions here, we could wrap up the call. I appreciate the 10 people in the audience hanging out with us here today, and of course yourself, Sened, for joining us here on Aavegotchi DAO.
100%. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Yeah, a T-Bird's inviting you to come sailing after consensus, so you should go hang out on the ghost ship there.
Thank you, man. Let's chat on that. I'll touch base with Daniel as well. Let's see in the group chat. Maybe we can make it happen.
Absolutely. All right, friends. Well, with that being said, I think we're gonna sign off here.